How about a round of applause for our lovely piano player? Peter is new to our group. Hopefully we'll continue on, but he's been a wonderful addition for today's program, and it's been great having him. And Peter himself has brought a little surprise, which will be part of this show, which you'll get to enjoy, which only Peter can do. I sure can't. So, but thank you all for coming here today on this beautiful, it's still June, right? Okay. This year is just ripping by. So thank you all for coming here today. We really hope that you have a wonderful time. We look forward to hearing you laugh and enjoy. And we've got a special treat for you today. So as you know, we are those thrilling days of yesteryear. We are rounding up our 13th season here at the Oak Park Arms. Great fans, for those who are new, we have been recreating old-time radio shows of all sorts, and today is no exception. For we know that there was a special treat that we wanted to do a tribute to old-time to horse racing, especially for Dan Turlow, who was here, and my father-in-law, my wife's dad, who was a huge fan of horse racing, and so this is also our special thanks and tribute to him. And I found out that in 1953, it was a very exciting year for horse racing. Native Dancer was the favorite, running the whole season undefeated, and then winning both the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes. And in fact, by the time they came down to the Kentucky Derby, and if he win the Kentucky Derby, then that's the Triple Crown, which is hard to do, which happened this past year. And so, having an undefeated season, winning the first two races, then Native Dancer was considered to be, as those in the betting world call it, a sure thing. Because if he did win the Kentucky Derby, he would then get the Triple Crown, and his running race was already great. So, as it turns out, on May 2nd, 1953, all the horses lined up, the bets were placed, and then the starting bell rang, and the gates opened up and the horses came bolting out, and underdog, Dark Star, running at 25-1 odds, burst into the lead immediately and could not be stopped. It was a completely unexpected win that completely upset all the betting, created quite a stir, and of course took away the possibility of the Triple Crown for Native Dancer. And it was really just a sad day for many, except those who love to bet the long shot. And speaking of long shots, as I realize this segue probably is, our two shows today also aired that very same year, featuring their own long shots in the world of horse racing. Our first show, My Friend Irma, originally aired on June 2nd in 1953, and it follows Jane and Irma and their friends as they go to the racetrack to watch Irma's boss run his new racing horse, Laughing Boy. See, Irma is very fond of him, but like in the Kentucky Derby, things don't always go according to plan. Of course, nobody knows better about things not going according to plan more than maybe Phil Harris, and because on the Phil Harris and Alice Faye show, Phil and his buddy Remley, they hatched this incredible plan to buy their own racehorse and then run it in the races and win lots of money. It's a surefire plan that just can't miss. Right? Yeah. And in between these two shows, you'll actually also hear the announcing of a very special and unusual horse race from back, that actually took place back in 1948. You'll hear such legendary horses as Dog Biscuit, Safety Pin, Cabbage, and Banana as they race to the finish. Who will be the winner? Well, the window is still open, so you can place your bets. My advice is, go for the long shot. Speaking of which, it's not a long shot that you will find today's show fun and for the whole family, as we will do our best to recreate these shows for you just as they aired, with music, sound effects, and even a running horse or two. And while you're listening, you might pretend that you are one of those who have the fortune of being in the live studio audience as they watch their favorite performers do their thing. In fact, to add to this experience, we are including a very rare and special treat for you all. The actual pre-show warm-up, led by Phil Harris and their announcer Bill, before they began the Phil Harris Alice Faye show. You can hear what it was like to sit in the audience and how they would chat and talk with the audience, tell a few jokes, acknowledge the cast before the actual show began on the radio. So you get to hear stuff that listeners at home would never got to hear. Or perhaps you might just wish to sit back, close your eyes, and imagine that you are sitting in the living room in front of the old Philco radio, anxiously awaiting for your favorite show to begin. So join us now as we take you back to those thrilling days of yesteryear.
Created by Cy Howard, transcribed from Hollywood, and starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
My roommate Irma Peterson is a girl of, well, let me describe her this way. She walks around like she's got the world on a string, but she can't remember where she put it.
Jane, where are you?
Right here, Cookie.
Oh, Jane, wait until I tell you.
Oh, no. Just take it easy, take it easy. You know how rattled you get when you're excited.
All right, I'll be calm.
Good. Now, what's it all about?
Well, you know my boss, Mr. Clyde, is married.
Of course I know.
Well, now they have a horse.
A horse?
Yes, after all these years.
What are you talking about?
Well, Mr. Clyde's always wanted a racehorse, and he bought one.
Yeah, well, go on, honey. I think I'm starting to make contact with you.
Well, this Saturday, Mrs. Clyde has invited all of us to be their guests at the racetrack.
Oh, yeah? Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah, Mrs. Clyde says we're going to watch the horses run in a box.
I see.
I suppose poor Mr. Clyde spent so much money on the horse he can't afford seats, and, well, I'll have to sit on boxes.
Oh, no, honey. It's not that kind of a box.
Oh.
Now, tell me, what's the name of Mr. Clyde's horse?
Well, his name is Laughing Boy, and I'm sure he's going to win. You know, as they say at the track, he'll come in on his nose.
Oh, yes. I see you know all the terminology.
Well, naturally, Jane, I should know all about horses. We have plenty of them on our farm in Minnesota.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Why, many a morning I ran into the house screaming, "Daddy, come into the barn! The old gray mare's just had another calf!"
Irma, that's colt.
Oh, Jane, you know so little about these things. A colt is a boy, a calf is a girl.
So, what's a stallion?
It's a little white onion with a long green top.
I guess we learn things all the time, you know.
Glad to help.
Well, you know, Cookie, the more I think about going to the races on Saturday, the more excited I get. Of course, I've never won in my life.
Well, of course you have to have a system. Now, when Laughing Boy runs, I think I'll bet him room and board.
Oh, no. That's across the board. It means you bet win, place, and show. You understand?
Well, naturally. I'm sure if he shows up in the right place, he'll win.
Oh, no. It's not quite it, honey. Win means first, place is second, and show means he came in third. Irma, now tell me the truth. I know you were raised on a farm with horses, but have you actually been to a horse race?
Oh, just once.
You understood everything that went on?
Why, certainly. What do you mean?
Well, for instance, did you see them take the horse into the winner's circle and put a wreath of flowers around its neck?
Oh, does that mean he won the race?
Well, sure, certainly. Why do you think they put the wreath of flowers around his neck?
Oh, I just thought he got back from Honolulu.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Cookie. Since you don't know your way around, and I don't know my way around...
Well, maybe the maestro and Mrs. Riley can advise us. Mrs. Clyde wants me to invite him too.
Oh, well, that's great. See, that's what I'm saying. Why don't we take all of our money and put it in a pool?
No, Jane, we're invited to the track. Why should we go swimming?
Honey, Just tell me, how much money have you that you'd like to bet?
Well, about $10. Ford like to bet on horses that pay about 40 to 1.
I see.
And the rest I'd like to put on long shots.
Come in.
If you don't mind, it's me, Maestro Wunderkind. Hello, Jenny and Irma, my two musical masterpieces. One, a Strauss waltz, the other, the Nutcracker Suite.
Oh, Maestro, how much money have you got?
Money? You mean the money I have on me, or the money I keep hidden under my mattress, or the money I have in the bank?
Well, all together.
$7.42. That's not including government securities.
Government securities?
Yeah, I have 3 2-cent stamps I haven't touched yet.
Well, you must forgive her, Maestro. It's her enthusiasm. Mr. and Mrs. Clyde have invited us to the track on Saturday, and this includes you and Mrs. O'Reilly.
Ah, isn't that nice of them?
Yes, Mr. Clyde has a horse called Laughing Boy, and I think we all better bet on him.
Well, it all depends on how he got his name. Does he laugh after the race, or does he stop to laugh at the horses in front of him?
Oh, that's a good question. Maestro, do you go to the track often?
Often? I wouldn't say that. Naturally, being a musician, like all good musicians, horse racing is below our cultural level. We haven't got time to take our minds from the classics for such nonsense.
Oh, well, I understand Laughing Boy is going to run a mile and a quarter.
Mile and a quarter, should do it in 2:10, track record is 2:06, going off at about 5 to 1. Say about 10:30 wins, 6:40 place, 2:10 to show, barring any photo finishes on a muddy track.
I thought musicians didn't know about horse racing.
Oh, this is just some dialogue I picked up on a sheet of music from the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Maestro, you're not fooling anyone, buddy, and I'm with you. How's your luck?
Well, sometimes it's not bad. Last year, what a streak of luck I had. I won the first, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh race. If I had any money left, I would have won the 8th race, too.
Well, Jane says we should take all of our money and put it in the water.
She means pool our money.
Well, that's a good idea. We'll have a bigger bankroll to start with. Irma, tell me, have you seen this horse, Laughing Boy?
Yes, he has the same brown eyes that my Al has.
Do they shift from side to side, too?
Yeah, wait a minute. That's a hunch. If this horse is anything like Al, we have to bet on him.
What do you mean?
Have you ever seen Al take off? I once saw him running away from his landlady, and I guarantee he did the mile in less than a minute.
Well, we'll leave it up to you, Maestro. Ernest putting up $10, and I'm putting up 10, and it'll be up to you to put up...
Okay.
Put your arms around me, honey, hold me tight. Cuddle up and huddle up with all your
Listen to that, Mrs. O'Reilly. Put your arms around me, she says. Who could she find with arms 10 feet long?
Ooh, anybody home? Come on in. Oh, hello, girls. Hello, Maestro, dear boy.
Greetings.
Oh, I'm afraid you have some competition. When I brought the ash cans out this morning, Mr. Sweeney from across the street whistled at me.
Well, I hated Dasher hopes on the rocks, Mrs. O'Reilly, but he broke his glasses last night, and he only whistled at you because he thought you were the truck, and he wanted you to pick up his ashes too.
Now, don't you go making any remarks about me. Oh, by the way, girls, how do you like the way I'm wearing me hair?
Oh, that's very nice.
Oh, that reminds me. You're invited to horse races this Saturday, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Yeah, to see the other bangtails.
Oh, what is this all about now?
Well, Mr. Clyde bought a racehorse, and Mrs. Clyde's invited us all to the track this Saturday.
Oh, glory be, I haven't been to a racehorse since I was a little girl in Ireland. Every year we'd go to see the running of the Irish sweepstakes.
Sweepstakes?
Yes, and Irma, don't bother asking if the horses run with brooms.
Are you going to be doing any betting?
Oh, sure, why?
Well, I don't know how to describe it, but I have a way of talking to horses.
Well, I guess if you can't get anyone else to converse with, you have to resort to that.
Maestro, did you know that you can tell a horse's age by counting his teeth?
I know.
Well, one more remark from you and you'll be counting yours in your hand.
Oh, now, come on. Let's not get into any arguments. I want us all to have a good time at the races. Personally, I'm very excited about the whole thing.
Oh, so am I.
By the way, Irma, do you know who the jockey is going to be?
No, but I hope it's Mickey Rooney. I once saw him ride in 3 races and he won them all.
Well, what movie was that?
It was the same one. It was raining outside, so I saw the picture over and over, and he won every time.
Well, too bad you couldn't have placed a bet. You would have cleaned up.
I know, I looked all over for an usher.
I'll bet. Come in.
Hi, folks. Hello, chicken.
Hello, Al, honey.
What's new, chicken?
Well, Mr. Clyde has a horse running on Saturday, and he's invited all of us to be his guests at the track.
Chicken, your boss owns a racehorse?
Yeah, and oh, he's the sweetest thing.
No, wait. Just happen to have a racing form on the inside of my shoes. Oh, wait a minute. You say the horse's name is Laughing Boy?
That's right.
Here it is. Laughing Boy, out of Sleepy Valley by Rip Van Winkle. Sounds like a really peppy family.
Has he won any races?
Let me see. Well, according to this, the only race he won was when he beat the trainer to the feed bag.
But Mr. Clyde wouldn't buy any old animal. He's very particular. Remember what I went through before he hired me?
Oh, now let me look at this nag's record. Oh, let's see. In his first race, he came in second. In the second race, he came in third. In the third race, he came in fourth. The fourth race, he didn't show up. The fifth race, he finished first, but that was really the sixth race. You know something? This don't seem as good as government bonds.
Well, maybe the horse is just a curious type.
Curious?
Yeah, you know, the kind of horse that always stays in position so he can see if all the other horses are wearing tails too.
Chicken, I want you to find out a few things about Laughing Boy for me.
Well, what, Al?
Well, for instance, find out if he's a hay burner who likes a fast track, or is he a nag who likes to hug the rail, or is he a good mudder?
All right, I'll ask Mr. Clyde.
Now, what are you going to ask him?
Is he a fast trail burner who likes to hug the hen? Is he good to his mother?
No. Chicken, look. Why is it every time I put some plain sensible words in your head, it comes out like it was a free-for-all in a fight and you lost?
Al, why don't you just stop trying to work all angles? We're all going to the track to have fun, and that's all.
Oh, sure, we'll do all right. Gee, I better get into work. Mr. Clyde may be expecting me to come in early today.
Oh, why? What do you mean?
Well, last night when I locked up the office, I'm not sure if he left first or if I left first. Good morning, Mr. Clyde.
Good morning. How are you, Miss Peterson?
Well, I'm a slow starter, but be careful at the halfway post because I really get going when you stretch me.
What are you raving about?
Well, that's racetrack talk, and I want to be ready Saturday when Laughing Boy runs.
Laughing Boy isn't running Saturday.
Why not?
Well, I'm getting rid of him. I bought a new horse, Dancing Girl. Hottest thing on four legs.
Yes, but what about Laughing Boy?
Oh, they sold me a lemon. He's too old. I'm getting rid of him.
Getting rid of him?
Yes, he's kaput.
Kaput?
Yeah.
Well, are you selling him?
Well, not exactly.
Well, is he being put down to pasture?
Not exactly.
If you're not going to sell him and you're not going to put him out to pasture...
Well, we're all excited about going to the races Saturday. Really excited. Sweetie, what's bothering you?
Oh, Jane, I'm worried about Laughing Boy. Is there any way he could be cured?
Cured? What's he got? Kaput. Kaput? Kaput. I never heard of it.
No, Irma, darling, this is not a disease. It's just an expression.
An expression.
Yeah, like if Mrs. O'Reilly was wearing a bathing suit, somebody might say, "Here comes Sweetie Pie."
Why, maestro, oh, you dear.
See, it fooled you. Happens to be an expression used by circus people. Sweetie Pie was the name of a famous elephant.
Why, you old flea-bitten monstrosity. You should talk with that bushy hair and long nose. You look like an anteater wearing a feather duster. That's what you do.
Oh, please, I'm worried about Laughing Boy. Jane, what do they do to horses that are too old or too sick to run anymore?
Well, I guess they either put them out to pasture or they sent them to the, it's nothing for you to worry about.
Yes, there is.
There is not. Honest, hon.
It's no use, Jane. I know when you're holding something back. You always look out the window and polish your nails.
Well, what's so unusual about that?
With your gloves
there's only 249 days before St. Patrick's Day, and I haven't got a thing to wear. I better go out and do some shopping.
Yeah.
Hey, now wait a minute. Nobody leaves until I find out.
Oh, honey, what are you getting so upset about?
Well, none of you people know Laughing Boy, and I do. Why, I was down at the stable, and he's sweet, and he's pretty, and I know that he's such a good friend that if you ever need him, he'd work like a horse for you.
Oh, Irma.
Now, please, Jane, I can't forget Laughing Boy's expression. He looked at me in the eyes as if to say, Irma, what are they going to do with me? I'm looking you all in the eye just the way he looked at me in the eye, and I want you to answer. What are they going to do with Laughing Boy?
Let me put it this way. What happens to people when they get too old?
They dye their hair red and lie about their age.
Be still.
Honey, Irma, what Mrs. O'Reilly is trying to say is when you become old and infirm... Irma, have you ever heard of Valhalla?
Is that near Sun Valley?
Don't let me handle this because it requires delicate and tactful handling. Irma, darling, there's nothing to be excited about. I'm sure they won't send Laughing Boy to the glue factory.
Glue factory?
Oh, that was real delicate.
He's going to the glue factory!
Irma, darling, please, listen to the old maestro.
No.
Listen. You know you feel badly about Laughing Boy. We know. But after all, you're not doing anything to him.
And according to Mr. Clyde, that new horse dancing lady looks like a sure winner. So why don't we concentrate on her and leave well enough alone?
You're cruel, all of you. That's why you don't know what this means to me. You've never loved a horse or owned a horse or been around a horse.
How can you say I've never been around the horse?
Take your arm off me shoulder.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Clyde. Yes, Irma's here. What? Oh, yeah, I'll tell her. Saturday. Oh, sure, we'll be there. Thanks. Bye. Sweetie, that was your boss. He wants you to come down to the office. He has some extra work to get out.
I'm not going.
Now look.
No, I don't want to have anything to do with him. Any man who would send a sweet horse like Laughing Boy to a glue factory. Could you imagine what he'll do to me when I get too old?
Oh, but Cookie, you really don't know that he is going to do any such thing. I'm sure Laughing Boy will be all right. Oh, Irma, Saturday's supposed to be a gay day. Mrs. O'Reilly is right. We should plan to bet on Dancing Girl.
Yeah, you're just like all the rest. All you think about is the money.
No, Irma, it isn't that at all. Not at all. It's just that Dancing Lady is a filly, and we must cheer for her because, well, like us, she's a member of the weaker sex.
Yeah, she's as weak as you are. She'll probably pick up the grandstand and run with it.
I don't care what any of you say. I'm not going to the races, and I'm not going to work for Mr. Clyde. Mr. Clyde, that glue factory monster!
Oh, now, Irma, don't get dramatic. You have a job. Now, why don't you just go to the office and maybe Mr. Clyde will tell you what he's going to do with Laughing Boy.
All right, I'm going to put it directly to him, and believe me, if he's going to mistreat Laughing Boy, I'll report him to the Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. You know, the YMCA.
Well, Miss Peterson, so you finally got here.
Well, I came as fast as I could. I grabbed the first bus I saw.
Why is it taking you over an hour?
It was the wrong bus.
Oh, fine. Well, never mind. I've already typed the letters I wanted you to dictate. Just put them in the envelopes and be sure they're glued.
Glued!
Yes, glued.
Murderer!
What?
You know what I'm talking about. When you get tired of something, you send them to be glued.
Miss Peterson, how do you get in this condition? Do you take dizzy pills every morning?
Stop with me, Mr. Clyde. I don't have to take pills. I'm not a hydramatic.
That's hypochondriac. Oh, forget it. Look, I have to leave town. I won't be back until Saturday. I want you to do something for me.
Yes, Mr. Clyde.
I want you to go to the track and tell my trainer to enter Dancing Girl in the race.
Well, what about Laughing Boy?
I have other plans for him.
But Mr. Clyde.
Some other time, Miss Peterson. I've got a plane to catch.
Mr. Clyde, please.
I'll see you at the races
But
on
Mr.
Saturday.
Clyde, what about Laughing Boy? He's gone. I can't let him do this to Laughing Boy. This must be Laughing Boy's stall. Oh, there he is. Hello, Laughing Boy. Isn't that sweet? He recognizes me. Gee, I wish you could talk, Laughing Boy. Mr. Clyde wants to get rid of you. Calling him names won't help. He wants to make glue out of you. Why, if he does that, I'll never lick another stab in my life.
What's that?
Oh my gosh, you can't talk.
Of course I can talk.
Oh, it's you.
My name is Henderson.
You must be Mr. Clyde's trainer.
That's right, miss. What are you doing here so early in the morning?
Well,
Is there something I can do for you?
you see, I'm Mr. Clyde's executive secretary and General Bony Face.
Oh,
And he sent me to tell, hey, by the way, who's the other horse that keeps looking at Laughing Boy?
that's Dancing Girl. I haven't had orders officially yet from Mr. Clyde. I think he would want me to race her instead of Laughing Boy.
Why?
Well, Laughing Boy just doesn't seem to have any spirit. The last workout I gave him, he barely made it to the track. What does Mr. Clyde want me to do with him?
He wants you to run him in the race.
Are you sure?
Yes, he says he has other plans for Dancing Girl.
Can't see why he wants to run Laughing Boy. Believe me, this nag would be laying down right now if he wasn't in such a narrow stall.
Well, don't worry, Mr. Henderson. He's what you call a sleepwalker.
If those are Mr. Clyde's orders, I better go up to the office and put him in as an official entry. Bye, miss.
Bye. Now, you see what I did for you, Laughing Boy? Now you must run the race or, golly, I'll lose my job. Oh, I see. You want to go over to Dancing Girl. Okay, come on. Maybe if you had something to run for. There, now you're both together. Oh, how sweet. Just like Al and me. If you really want to make her proud, you'll win today.
Seen so many people. Maestro, you better hold my hand so I don't get lost.
Nothing doing. They might think I'm the jockey. This way, Jenny. I see Irma.
Oh, yeah, she's with Al and Mr. Clyde. Irma!
Well, kids, I hope you put a good bet on Dancing Girl. I know that horse can't lose. There's an $8,000 purse on this race.
An $8,000 purse? I can't see why you'd need such an expensive pocketbook.
Hey, wait a minute. Isn't this supposed to be the race?
That's right. I'll start any minute.
I don't see Dancing Girl up on board.
Well, you must be mistaken. Miss Peterson?
Yes, Mr. Clyde?
Look up there at that board. They've got Laughing Boy up there instead of Dancing Girl. Miss Peterson, what have you done to me? I'm ruined.
They're off!
All the morons. I had to pick the prize one of all. I can't bear to look.
Mr. Clyde, look! Laughing Boy, he's gaining! He's right out in front!
You're probably mistaken. If I know Laughing Boy, he's only out in front because the other horse is the second time around.
Go!
Oh my God. Look, he's with. He's a Hey, Peterson, how did you do it?
Well, he was lonely, so I got him a girlfriend.
He won! Laughing Boy won!
Only because he was lonely.
What do you mean he was lonely, you wonderful idiot?
I married him to Dancing Girl. That's why he ran so fast. He's anxious to get back for the honeymoon.
My friend Irma came to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
It's a beautiful day for the race. Stu Chan is the favorite today. Assault is in there. Dog Biscuit is 3-1. Safety Pin has been scratched. And 20-1. Fetal Bomb. Now approaching the starting gate. And, there they go! And it's Stu Chan out to the front. Cabbage is second on the rail. Beautiful Linda is third by the length. And Fiddlebum. Around the first turn, Stu Chan is still in front. Cabbage is second by a head. Cabbage by a head! And beautiful Linda is third. And Fiddlebum. Into the back stretch, Dog Biscuit is now leading the pack. Lady Avalon is second, very close. Banana is coming up through the bunch. Banana coming up through the bunch! And Fiddlebum. At the half, Stu Chan still out in front. Apartment House is second with plenty of room. Assault is passing Battery. Assault and Battery! Notary's Old Jack is fourth. And in last place by 10 lengths, I believe it is, yes, it is Fiddlebum. Around the turn, heading for home, it's Stu Chan and Dog Biscuit and Girdle in the stretch. Flying Sylvester is third, and Mother-in-Law is nagging in the rear. And now they come down to the wire, and it's number one, and now number two, and it's very close. It'll either be a photo finish or an oil painting. And now Lewis speaks with the left, and now Lewis is in there slugging, and it's a battle, and they're all tearing the hair. There's hair all over the ring, there's hair all over the place. I don't know whose hair it is. It's mine. And there goes the winner!
We're one of the few remaining radio shows that's lucky enough to have a sponsor. So if you enjoy yourself here in the next half hour, you could do us all a big favor, if you could. And that is, sometime next week, stop by your neighborhood RCA Victor dealer, pick up a 27-inch television set or a record player, something, because we'd all like to be working up here next year at the same time. Incidentally, this is the start of our third year for RCA. And of course, as you folks know, now Phil is on his own. One more thing I'd like to tell you. This year we're changing our time. It's going to be a big lineup on Friday nights. Bob Hope, followed by our show. We hope you remember, when you hear our show, to tune in Friday nights for Hope and Harris. So let's get Phil off to a big start on his new time. Back to Bob Hope. So let's give a big welcome to Mr. Phil Harris. Let's hear it.
Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you what it means to me to have me come out here all by myself, and you're all applauding, and you've got those smiles on your faces, and I just want to tell you, I love you for it, because I need it. I've been with Jack Benny for 16 years, and that ain't no money connected with that guy. All he does on Saturday is take you into a dark room, give you one fast chorus of Love and Bloom, and you've had it, Dad. Anything you could do to help me earn an honest living, the time is now. I'm off to a bad start. When I married Alice, they told me she had money. I'll be damned if I can find it. I've looked everywhere. They told me her brother might have it. I'd live with him for 2 weeks. Nothing. Ain't nothing. Well, we do have a good show for you. And I'm very happy with the script. I'm very happy we have such a lovely crowd here. And I want to introduce some of the people, but first I'm very happy to see servicemen in the audience. And I want to tell you guys that you're always welcome at my shows, especially to you sailors, because in the last war I was in the Navy myself. I fought the Battle of Catalina. Yeah, you may be laughing, but we lost 8 lobsters traps over there. Now, they had a unique way, and you'll get a kick out of this, you guys in the Navy, of selecting their enlisted men from what they did in private life. For instance, I went in with a couple of buddies of mine. One of them was a street cleaner, and they put him up as a minesweeper. Then, one of them was a construction guy, you know, he tore down buildings and everything. They put him up as a destroyer. How I ever wound up on a ferry boat, I'll never know. story about the guy who walked into the barber shop and he said, "How many ahead of me?" The barber says, "3." The guy went out, he don't come back. Comes in the next day, says to the barber, "How many ahead of me?" The barber says, 3. The guy goes out, he doesn't come back. Well, the barber's going crazy. He don't know what to do. So he says to the bootblack, he says, "Look, every day a guy comes in, he wants to know how many ahead. I tell him, he goes out, he don't come back. If he does it tomorrow, you follow him. I want to know." So next day, the guy came to the barber. He says, "How many ahead of me?" The barber says, 3. The guy went out. The bootblack followed him. He came back about 20 minutes later. The barber said, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?" The bootblack says, "To your house." Now we're rolling. You hear about the guy who parted his hair in the middle? Well, he got tired of parting his hair in the middle. So he went to the barber and had it parted from here to here. Well, put some front bangs and some back bangs, and then he got awful monotonous because people come up whispering into his nose. Now here's one about a drunk. A blind drunk, he fell out of a 12-story window. He fell down, boom, and he hit. There's a big crowd comes around. Well, he gets up and brushes himself off. Some fellow walks up and says, "What happened?" The guy says, "Damned if I know, I just got here." Say hello to Bill Foreman, ladies and gentlemen. Like me, he's seen himself on television. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, whatever success we've obtained, it's not due to any 1 or 2 people, it's our organization. And we're very fortunate to have a very competent organization. For instance, every one of them, they sitting back up here on the stage, they do an outstanding job on his or her particular interview. These are things I know that you don't. Take the band leader, he's all right. We're all very happy with him in as much as he's one of our up-and-coming geniuses as far as the music is concerned. And I'm not kidding, I'm on the level. Already he's had 2 things already played at the Hollywood Bowl. And he's been nominated 6 times for an Academy Award. Last year he was nominated again and lacked a few votes, so winning it all for that beautiful directing of that music you heard in the wonderful picture, The Hans Christian Andersen Story. Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Scharf and his orchestra. All handwork. Now, I want you to meet whose fault this is, because without her, I don't think the program would be possible. I don't want to go into a big eulogy. I just want to tell you that she's not only the most beautiful girl in the world, but this kid's got talent too. Alice Faye. Now, here's a couple little girls who play the part of Alice and Phyllis, and they too are 2 of the outstanding little actresses in our business. They've been with us ever since we started. We've watched them grow. They're wonderful and just as clever as the Dickens. Janine Roos and Ann Whitfield. Come on. Well, they don't come too young for me. When it comes to women, oh, honey, you know you got all of me. Here's a new fella to our organization, and we're very happy with him. The only thing I worry about is he's a little too handsome, and and young. But he's a marvelous actor, and I know you've seen him doing pictures on television. He's our new William. He plays the part of Alice's brother. A wonderful performer and a wonderful guy. John Hubbard, ladies and gentlemen. He's a little kid who steals our show every week, and we're very happy about it, because we not only love him, but he's just chock full of talent. Plays the part of Julius Abruzio, the grocery boy. Walter Tetley, come on, Wally. Now the one and only Elliot Lewis. Come on now. That's our task, ladies and gentlemen. All I ask you to do. This is our opening show, so please laugh. If you laugh, laugh loud. If you cry, cry loud. Whatever you do, do loud. Will you please? Thank you. Have a good night.
Sorry, mister, you can't go in there.
Can't go in? What do you mean I can't go in? I gotta go in.
The show's ready to start, and you can't go in, so don't give me any trouble.
Now, wait a minute, buddy. Wait a minute. Don't you recognize me? Look, the curly hair, the lovable personality, that deep, rich voice.
Oh, excuse me. Go right in, Tallulah.
RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television, presents the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. For your enjoyment, here at the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, transcribed and written by Ray Singer, Dick Shetelot, and Ed James. with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, John Hubbard, Janine Ruse, Adam Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. The title of tonight's little monstrosity is A Day at Santa Anita, or That's a Horse on You. But first, however, here's a word from RCA Victor. Your mealtime problems, like that of most homemakers, is to come up with new menus for your family to take the humdrum routine out of 3 meals every day. An RCA Estate gas or electric range will solve your problem. See how the new RCA Estate coaxes exciting new flavors from familiar foods with new modern cooking methods. Before you buy, see all the years ahead features of the RCA Estate range. It grills, bakes, and barbecues, and does it all at the same time. Look up your RCA Estate dealer in the pages of your phone book. Let him show you these new RCA Estate ranges, gas or electric. And now, the stars of the RCA program, Alice Faye and Phil Harris. A fool and his money are soon parted. That's what they say. That's what Alice Faye says, too. And she doesn't mean King Farouk. She's referring to that carefree, lovable, debonair man about town, Phil Harris.
I'm walking behind you on our wedding day, a 45 in each pocket, and they're both RCA. Oh, hiya, honey. How's every little thing?
Oh, you look fine. Why?
Oh, hey, wait a minute, Alice. There's no way to talk. Now, when I came in here this morning, I felt like $1 million.
And that's the way you spend money, too. Look at these bills.
Well, now you ruined my whole day.
Phil, you've got to cut down.
Honey, you know I don't drink. Before breakfast.
Oh, Phil, you've got to stop wasting money.
Oh, that kind of cut down. Oh, you give me so hard. What are you trying to do?
Now look here.
How did I waste money now?
Well, just look here. One bathing suit, $100. Honey, I know it was for me.
Certainly, it was worth it, baby. It was worth it. You realize that every sequin was sewn on just right.
I know, but did they have to spell out, stand back, this belongs to Phil Harris?
I ain't taking no chances.
And another thing, the way you were tipping last night, you threw $10 bills around as though they were dimes.
Yeah, nowadays, you can't tell the difference.
Phil, if you keep this up, you'll go through your money in no time.
Oh, stop worrying, honey. We ain't even halfway through yours yet. Look, honey, why don't we talk about it
But
later?
Phil, listen.
I don't want to talk about it now. We talk about it later. I gotta go downtown and see Elliot. I ain't seen him all day.
You don't have to go downtown. He's right here having his lunch.
Oh, he is? Where?
In the garage.
Elliot's eating in the garage?
Well, he ate everything that we had in here, so now he's having lunch with the dog.
Democratic little devil, ain't he?
Elliot or the dog?
All right.
Hey, Phil, where are you going?
I told you, honey, I'm going out to see Elliot. I'll be right back. I don't even get my eyes open. I don't get a cup of coffee. She's nagging. Oh, what's the trouble? Don't spend so much money. That's all she could say. I should have stayed home, dear, on our wedding day. Well, hiya, Elliot. Hey, Elliot.
Excuse me, Curly.
That's okay, yeah.
I didn't see you, didn't hear you coming. Wait till I take these clothespins off my ears.
What you got clothespins on your ears for?
They keep getting into dog food. Hey, you know, Curly, that's pretty good stuff.
Certainly it ought to be. Factories in Del Mar. They use nothing but women's. Hiya, Nipper. He's on fire today. He's a happy little beastie, ain't he?
I'm gonna make you a happy little beastie, too. How would you like to come in on a big deal with me and make $1 million?
If I know you, and boy do I know you, I'll leave you with one word. Get lost.
Curly, you ain't even heard the proposition.
Look, I ain't gonna hear it, because I don't have to hear it. I just had a lot of trouble. Alice has been nagging, bawling me out for throwing money away. So I ain't gonna spend no more money, no more propositions, no more chances.
Look, Curly, how much money did you throw away?
A couple $100. What?
Well, that's great. She balls you out for throwing away a couple $100, and now you want to throw away $1 million. You're a dead pigeon.
$1 million, huh?
Uh-huh.
Is that more than 1,000?
More than 1,000? That's twice as much. And you want to throw it away.
Yeah, you know, I never thought of it like that.
Well, good.
Go ahead, kid. Shoot, what's the proposition?
You know that horse, Blue Blazes, we saw run at Santa Anita a few times? I got a chance to buy him for $500 bucks.
Wait a minute. Now, how can you buy a horse like Blue Blazes for $500 bucks?
I got connections. I gotta tip the owner wants to sell this horse at a loss so he can write it off on his income tax.
Oh, hey, gee, you know something? For $500 bucks, we couldn't go very wrong, could we?
Go wrong? I'm telling you, we will make a fortune. We'll go partners. We'll chip in 50-50 and buy it.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough.
You got $2 $50?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll borrow that for my half, and all you gotta do is dig up $2 $50.
Give me that once more, will you? Just a little slower.
Well, all you gotta do is dig up $250 for your half, and I'll make you a partner. I'm gonna borrow the other $250.
You mean you ain't got your $250, huh?
I got it, Curly, but I'll need that for the expense of taking care of the horse. Why, it'll cost $250 a day just to feed him.
That much a day for feed? That's a lot of money.
I know, but this nag's got a big appetite. He eats like a horse.
Yeah, I get that. Now look, Elliot, let me get this straight. You don't have the money, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna lend it to you. Now, I'll put up the whole 500, right?
Right.
Now, where do we contact the guy that's got the animal?
He's sitting out front in his car. You see him?
Oh, yeah, I see him out there. Hey, wait a minute. What's he got his motor running for?
Well, as soon as he sells the horse, he's gonna leave town.
Oh. Well, look, Elliot, here's the dough. Just go close the deal.
Ain't you gonna come along?
Nah. I think I'll stay here with Nipper for a while.
Righto, Mr. C. Whitney Vanderbilt Harris. I shall see you in the paddock. Cheerio!
Alice,
Yes, William?
shall I take the children over to Mother's?
Please, Mom, we'd like to see Grandma.
Well...
Hey, Alice. Hey, Alice.
Oh boy, we got something to tell you.
Hey, Elliot.
Yeah, hey, honey. Wait till you hear this. Why, Willie, stick around. You gotta hear this too. Look, honey, Elliot and me are now owners of a racing stable. We just bought a racehorse.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a great horse, Alice. Listen, it's Blue Blazes out of Honey Girl by Blue Street.
Is it a good horse, Daddy?
Oh, now, Phyllis, you children wouldn't know anything about it.
Just wanted to ask him if he clocked the nag at the early morning workout.
Can he run the mile at 1:35?
Is he a mother or does he like a fast track?
Girls, where did you ever learn those expressions?
From Daddy's scratch sheet.
Mom, did you know that Native Dancer, the greatest horse that ever
He
lived?
is not. Uncle could beat him any day.
It cannot.
Can't you?
It cannot.
He can't do.
Girls, go out in the yard and play.
But Mother.
Go out and play.
Gee whiz.
Aw.
Phil, how dare you?
Now, wait a minute, honey. Wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with horse racing. Some of the best families in the country own horses.
What kind of a horse is it, Philip? What does he look like?
Well, I didn't see him. I mean, the guy got him in a stall at Santa Anita, and he didn't have time to take us out.
You bought a horse without seeing him?
We didn't have to see him. The owner gave us his picture of the horse. Look, ain't he a beautiful animal?
Let's see it, Elliot.
Yeah, here, Al.
Well, all you can see is his head and tail. The rest of it was covered with a blanket.
Yeah, but just look at the name on that blanket. It's Blue Blazes. What a G. And to think, we got him for $500.
$500? Philip, you've been cheated. You can't buy a good racehorse for that kind of money.
What do you know about horses?
I am very familiar with horses. I ride a great deal. I'll have you know, I was practically born in the saddle.
Wasn't your mother uncomfortable?
Listen, William, I'm telling you, this is a great racehorse. It'll break records, and I don't mean RCA Victor records. I just threw that in. Do you mind? I just threw that in.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
Okay. Nowadays, you gotta throw in plugs whenever you can. Whenever you get a chance, I'll throw it in again. RCA Victor, RCA Victor, RCA Victor, RCA Victor. Sell them, fellas, please, sell them.
Records, he says. I can take the most broken down animal in any riding stable and beat this hay burner you've been stuck with.
Oh, you could, huh? Well, let me ask you something. Would you like to have a little match race and make a little bet on it?
All right. How much would you like to bet?
Just a minute. Alice, how much would I like to bet?
Oh, never mind, Philip. Never mind the money. When would you like to hold this so-called race?
Why not right now? They're not racing at Santa Anita today. I feel confident their turf will be in adequate condition.
Fine, fine. I'll get a horse from the first riding academy I come to and meet you at Santa Anita in 2 hours. Goodbye, Philip.
So long, sucker. Hey, Curly, are we gonna take him? Especially with you riding a horse.
Who?
I'm riding a horse. I'm allergic to them. When I was a kid, one of them kicked me.
Yeah? Where did he kick you?
In Milwaukee. I was living there at the time. Hey, why don't you ride it, Curly?
Well, I'd love to, Elliot, but you know, I used to live in Milwaukee, too.
Well, why don't you fellas just get a regular jockey to ride it?
Nah, they're expensive, Alice. They get a lot of dough.
Jockeys, gee whiz. Wouldn't it be wonderful if my old pal Eddie Arcaro came along through that door and he just said,
Anybody home? I brought the groceries.
I don't think he'd say that, Curly.
please, will ya? Hey, hey, wait a minute. Hey, Julius, come here, will ya? Have I got something to tell you?
Good morning, Miss Fay.
Well, ain't you gonna say anything to us, pal?
Yeah. Help!
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Julius, you just say something, anything like that, because today, hey, Julius, listen to me. Mr. Lewis and I are going to do you one of the biggest favors you've ever had in your life. We just bought a racehorse, a good one, and we want you to ride him in a big race.
You mean you're gonna let me be a jockey? Jimmy's! Julius, the whip of Bruzio. You mean I'll be one of those guys who boots home winners in them big races? With the people screaming and yelling and they put a big horseshoe of roses around your neck and they pay you a lot of dough for doing it?
Yeah, that's it, kid, that's it. How do you like the idea?
It don't appeal to me. I'm afraid of horses and I ain't gonna ride one for nobody.
Gee, Miss Fay here thought you'd do it for her. She's gonna watch the race, you know. She's gonna be awfully disappointed if you ain't riding.
You want me to, Miss Fay?
Well,
In that case, I'll do it. With the woman I love to cheer me on, I shall ride like the wind, and neither rain, nor snow, nor sleet, nor hail shall stay this courier from this swift completion.
All right, ride the horse first, deliver the mail later. Hey, we're leaving for the track now, Julius. Can you go with us?
Certainly. This is the last order I have to deliver.
Hey, Alice, would you like to see the race too?
I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'll get my coat and be right with you. I don't know. Most husbands come home with candy or flowers. Mine comes home with a racehorse. But that's my Phil. Hey, this is a beautiful track, Phil. You know, I've never been here before.
Wow! Where's this hay burner you two guys own?
All right, don't get nervous, don't get nervous. It's over there in one of them stables. Now, Julius, you and Alice wait here, and Elliot and I will go over and get him. Come on, Elliot.
Yeah, gosh, I can't wait to see Blue Blazes, Curly. You know, with proper training, he might turn out to be another Esther Williams.
Who?
Esther Williams.
What's the connection?
I happen to like Esther Williams.
Ah, me too. Oh, Esther. Boy. Lemonade.
Lemonade.
Well, I also happen to be thirsty. Hey, Elliot.
Uh-huh.
Hey, look over there.
Yeah?
There it is. There he is. That's our horse. Boy, he's a beautiful beast, ain't he?
Yeah. He's got a lovely voice, too.
Sounds like Crosby.
Hey, Curly, lead him out of the stall so we can get a better look at him.
Okay, I'll get him right out. Okay. Now, take it easy, boy. Attaboy. Oh, hey, look at him. Come on. Attaboy. Over here. No. Over here. Oh, now, boy. That's it.
Hey, Curly.
Yeah?
Let's take the blanket off. I can't wait to get a good look at it.
Wait a minute. What are you, nuts or something?
What did I do?
You can't take the blanket off one of them high-class horses. What do you want them to do? Catch cold? What are you, silly or something? Take that blanket off. They get the croup or the scoop or the rope or something. Yeah, they get loaded. Don't expose it. Just wait until we take them over to the track. Come on.
Okay.
Hey, you two. What are you doing with that blanket? Belongs to my horse, Blue Blazes.
This is Blue Blaze.
It is not. I just loaned that blanket to this guy to put on that nag when he took a picture of started.
You mean that ain't Blue Blazes? But we just bought them for $500.
You paid $500 for this? Oh, brother, have you been taken?
All right, laughing boy. What's so funny?
Wait, I'll take the blanket off and show you. Gentlemen, Blue Pot the Second.
Glue Pot? That's Blue Blazes out of Honey Girl by Blue Street.
It's Blue Pot out of Frying Pan by mistake.
You're at me again, huh? At me again. Always at me. That's the most swayed back nag I ever seen.
Yeah, he just got a front and end, he ain't got no middle.
Take a look at him, Elliot. That's our horse. Take a look at him. Is he ever swayed back? His stomach is touching the ground. What am I going to do? What am I going to tell Alice?
Let's turn him upside down and tell her it's a camel.
Will you be quiet? Now, one of these days, buddy, one of these days. Look, I don't know what I've ever done to get mixed up into this. Why do you always pick up? Can't you pick on somebody else? Art Linkletter or somebody else? Now listen, maybe if we leave the blanket on, we can keep her from seeing it before the race. If Alice sees this, hey mister, hey partner, can we borrow this blanket for a while?
Sure, but bring it back when you're through.
Yeah, there he goes again. Hey, thanks. I don't think he heard me. We might well get going, Elliot. We gotta show this thing to Alice.
Okay, come on, horse. Get going, horsey. Come on. And come on. Hey, Curly, he don't want to move.
He can't. His stomach's dragging. How are we gonna get him over to Alice?
Yeah, if we had a pair of skates, we could put him under his stomach and roll him over.
Yeah, if we could also butter his stomach and slide him over.
Hey, he's moving, Curly. Should I clock him?
With what, a calendar? Better be sensible, will you? Let's get this over with. Come on.
All right.
Elliot, this is the last time I'm ever going to listen to you. You talked me into buying the world's most broken down nag.
Don't blame me. How did I know the guy was a crook? And besides, how do you know he can't run? Just because he's built funny doesn't mean anything.
Well,
He might be a great runner.
I certainly hope so, because I got to go through this race. Elliot, now, don't say nothing to Alice. Don't say a word. Put the blanket on, maybe she won't notice.
Yeah. Watch him, we're getting close. Hi, Alice. Hi, here's our horse. Ain't he beautiful?
Well, he has a lovely head and a nicely braided tail. Take the blanket off so I can see the rest of him.
Yeah, let's leave well enough alone.
I can't ride the horse with a blanket on. I'll take it off.
No, wait a minute, Julia. Don't. Oh.
Well, it's off.
Holy jumping Jehoshaphat!
This is a horse?
Sure, it's a horse. Count his feet.
How am I going to win the race with a thing like that? Every time he takes a step, his stomach bounces along the ground like a basketball. I can't ride him. I'll have to dribble him around the track.
Oh, Phil, how could you buy such a thing? It's the most sway-backed animal I've ever seen.
He ain't swing back.
No? Well, you could sprinkle snow on his back and use him for a ski jump.
He looks like a roller coaster that got away from Cinerama.
He may not look like much, but he'll beat Willie's horse. Come on, Julius, mount him.
Are you kidding? The only one that should mount this thing is a taxidermy. I wouldn't be found dead on that nag. I'm leaving.
Now, wait a minute, Julius. Wait a minute. Where you going, Julius?
So long, chumps.
Well, there goes Willie Shoemaker's boy. Now, what are we going to do?
Curly, you'll have to ride him.
But I can. Look, I can't get on a horse like this.
Oh, Phil!
What?
Phil, here comes Willie.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm going to have to ride him. Look, I want you two to defend Glue Pot in front of Willie, or I'll never live this down. Now, help me out now.
Oh boy. Oh, steady. Well, Philip, I'm ready for the race. This is the horse I'm going to ride. Now, what's that?
It's a horse. What'd you think it was?
Well, the way it sags in the middle, I thought it was a cheap mattress. Philip, he's so sway back.
He is not. He's tired, that's all. He ain't even 1 inch sway back. He just happens to be the only racehorse in the world whose stomach starts from a kneeling position.
Philip, surely you don't expect to beat me with that old thing?
He ain't old. Of course he ain't old. You just watch him. I'm gonna, when I go up to his and get him in the saddle and say, giddy up, go, giddy up.
Curly,
What?
there's something I forgot to tell you.
What?
The owner told me when you want him to go, you don't say giddy up.
Well, what do you say?
Just yell in his ear. To arms! To arms! The British are coming! Well, let's get the race started. Okay, fellas, get on your horses.
All right, Ellie, I'm on mine. Philip, don't just stand there. Get on your horse.
I am on my horse.
Phil, pick up your legs. Your knees are dragging.
All right, get ready, fellas. When I say go, you stop.
Steady, boy. Steady now. Now look, old buddy. We're gonna break fast and then take to the rail.
On your mark, get set, go!
We're off. That's good, boy. That's it. Easy now.
Curly,
We're neck and neck.
Curly, Curly,
I just hope I don't override you.
Curly!
What?
Come back here and get your horse.
Oh, in the excitement, I guess I forgot him. I wondered why I was breathing so hard. Hold the horse, Ellie. I'll get on him again.
Wait till I pick him up.
Oh, Phil, Willie's way ahead of you. Why don't you give up?
A Cherokee never gives up. This horse can run, and I'll beat that Willie yet. Now, come on, boy, let's go. Atta boy. You broke nicely now. That's it. That's it, boy. Take it easy, boy. Save yourself for the stretch. Oh, man. Traveling a nice, steady clip now.
Phil,
Keep to the rail, baby. Keep to the rail. We'll catch up with Willie.
Phil.
Alice, stop walking alongside of my horse. Makes him nervous. Now, come on, boy. Come on. Let's get going. Come on, buddy. Now we're traveling, baby. Oh, Bluey. We're gonna win this plot yet. Now, come on, Bluey. Come on, old buddy. We're at the quarter pole already.
Hi, Curly. About time you showed up. I've been waiting for you.
All right, don't be funny. Where's Alice?
She ran up ahead to brush some stones off the track.
I'm right here, Phil. Honey, why don't you give up?
Why should I? If not gonna give up, I'm doing it all right. I'll beat that brother of yours if it's the last thing I do. Come on, baby. Please, for Papa. Come on. I'd wake him up, but I believe he's going faster this way. Come on, Bluey. Just a little bit more. Please. Come on. To arms, the British are coming. Nothing.
Hurry up, Phil.
Yeah, keep going, Curly. You're almost to the finish line.
I am? Come on, Blue Pop, wake up. Don't you even want to see the finish? Hey, where did all them people come from?
Phil, isn't it wonderful?
What is?
You just won tomorrow's third race.
Oh. Time following Bob Hope on Friday night. It's what we call H&H night. That stands for Hope and Harris and Hope. Harris and Hope. Harris. Well, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Included in this program transcribed was Joseph Kearns. The part of Julius was played by Walter Tetley. This has been an NBC radio network. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We hope you've enjoyed our lovely and humorous trip off to the track. And whether or not your horse came in or is still at the gate, we are all winners in today's show because we've laughed and enjoyed some more classic and memorable moments from the golden age of radio. And while this wraps up our 13th season at the Oak Park Arms, you can bet that we're already planning an exciting 14th season for you beginning in September. More Phil Harris and Alice Faye, along with Jack Benny, Mel Blanc, Duffy's Tavern, Lux Radio Theater, Command Performance, and tales well calculated to keep you in suspense. All recreated for you live on stage right here at the Oak Park Arms. So be sure to join us Sunday, September 13th, right here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can always check out our website at www.ttdy20150628.com for the latest updates and show information. And now for the cast of Those Thrilling Days of Yesteryear, featuring Ken Ball, our magnificent musical magic of Peter Ho on the piano. And I am your ttdy director and producer, Ben Dooley. Thank you so much. And also, on behalf of the cast, we'd like to extend our thanks to you, the audience, for once again helping our show come alive and for living those thrilling days of yesteryear so that we could bring them back to you. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful summer. Enjoy the beautiful day. Before you head home, stop in our lounge for some special cookies. Not just your regular, ordinary cookies, special cookies waiting for you. And them cookies ain't going to eat themselves. So head on out there, and some of the cast may even stop out there. So we hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for coming. We'll see you in September. Sounds like a song.